Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of a tarot story, and I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I made a mistake. So I recently just did the episode on the court cards and I talked about the pages, and then I went back and I realized that I forgot to do the suit of pentacles. And in that video I was like so happy because I finally finished all the majors and minors, but yeah, I actually forgot about Earth Clan and they're really mad at me. So, so yeah, I'm gonna do the Earth Clan today, the suit of Pentacles. That's what I'll be talking about. Yeah, I will be using the Rider-Waite tarot. I was gonna use Dreaming Waite, but Dreaming Waite has some interesting differences and reinterpretations when it comes to the suit of Pentacles. So I decided to just go for this one. This is kind of the more standard archetypal image of the Earth Clan, and it just kind of fits the story that I came up with better. So yeah, I'll be using the Rider-Waite tarot, and despite the fact that its art is a little bit uninspiring, I'm very sorry, Rider-Waite lovers. Just not my deck of cards, not my cup of tea. Yeah, so without further ado, here is the history or the story of the Earth Clan, or the suit of Pentacles, or the suit of coins. Okay, so yeah, I'll be using the cards. I honestly don't know why I forgot to do this, or I didn't think of this before. You know, I did it with my Major Arcana video, and I did it with my court cards video. I totally forgot to do it for the wands, the cups, and the swords, but you know, now I'm holding up a card so you can see it, so now it's like more, I don't know, interactive, so it's not just like my face talking or occasional subtitles. Okay, so when it comes to aces, obviously if you've been following the series, I kind of see it, or I kind of view it as the emblem of the clan. It's the core identity of this element, it's the core identity of this suit. So when it comes to the suit of Pentacles, you know, it has the element of earth and also has the symbol of a coin, which represents currency. So when it comes to Ace of Pentacles, the core identity of the Earth Clan, and this group of people, because the coin obviously represents currency, the Earth Clan people, they are very, very resourceful, and they really value that exchange. And I won't say that they're very business-like, but I feel like there's this sort of negative connotation when it comes to the word business, but not at all. I feel like it's more like a positive thing for them when it comes to business. They value doing businesses with each other because they value that exchange. You know, they want the resources that they have, the talents and the skills that they have, or just anything that can really be exchanged as in currency. They want those things to be validated, and they want those things to be validated through exchange, you know, mutual benefit. So I feel like this is what the Earth Clan is about. It's about mutual benefit through the by exchanging the resources that they have, and also helping each other grow even more wealthy and even more abundant. So because they really value that exchange and really value that sort of validation from each other, they are very highly community oriented people. They really care about themselves as a collective group, as a people, and they really care about their tradition, their culture, and their history, because they're really close. You know, they embody the element of earth, right? It's really, you know, they're really grounded. They're really about like honoring the traditions, the system that's in place, the orders that's in place. So they're really sort of earthy in that way. And because they're resourceful, they're obviously very practical, and I think on a positive note, they would see how this mutual exchange will work out, how this exchange could potentially benefit both parties. But I guess if you take it to the negative extreme, which is towards its shadow side, it'll just be, you know, whatever exchange or whatever it is that you want to engage in, you have to see something good out of it. Something has to be there for you. So yeah, I could go both ways, but I feel like the spirit of Earth Clan is that they value exchange, they value mutual growth, they value the community. And yeah, that's why having a place in their community is very important for them, because they want to feel that validation. They want to become part of that system. They want to feel like they're contributing to the mutual growth and to the mutual wealth of their community. So yeah, I also just want to mention that they're very stubborn. They're very stubborn because they're really, you know, they like to honor their tradition and system, and they feel like Well, if something works, why bother changing it? So they're really resistant to new ideas sometimes, and they don't really like being disturbed. They don't like their routines to be. They don't want them. They don't want their routines to be disturbed. They want to just keep, not like in their own bubble, but they just want to keep everything that's functional functioning. So they don't feel like changing because if it works, it works. Why bother? Why change it? Right. So that's the spirit of Earth Clan. Okay, and that's how their story begins with this group of people and their identity. Let's see where to go from there. So when it comes to Two of Pentacles, for me, I kind of see it as each pentacle or each coin represents like a set of resources. So I kind of use this analogy and then just kind of apply it to the rest of the story or the rest of the chapter. So in chapter 2, Two of Pentacles or Two of Coins, you kind of have two coins in your collected pile of wealth now. So you have one coin for yourself that sort of sustains you, and you have another coin that you could sort of start to exchange and begin exchanging for things. So now you can create flow because you're starting to exchange. You create flow, and when it comes to exchanging, because you're not like a millionaire, billionaire yet, you're not like that super wealthy where you can just spend whatever you want and just still be okay. You have to be very careful when it comes to your resources because your resources are kind of limited right now, right? So it really requires careful management. You really have to manage that flow, and it takes a lot of organization and care and attention to detail to maintain that flow. So yeah, it takes a lot of poise, it takes a lot of discipline. So that's why you see this balancing act, and that's why the theme of balance is present in the Two of Pentacles. It's about managing the two piles of resources that you have, which is managing the different projects that you have, the different two sets of currencies that you have. You have to make sure they're in balance, that you're not going into debt and you're not sort of one of them is not overflowing, because two of them needs to be sort of at this equilibrium for them to work. Remember, the keyword here is flow and balance. So here we go. Okay, so when it comes to Three of Pentacles or chapter 3, so you have 3 coins to spend. Now you have one for yourself, one to exchange for yourself, and one to hire somebody to join your team. So this is really like when you interact with your community, when you sort of think about what you can offer to this other person and what they can offer you. So people are sort of coming together, you're meeting people who sort of have things to offer to each other when it comes to your common goal. So this is when you're sort of expanding your business and you're really expanding your team. People are joining your team, like now you actually have a team. And yeah, this is symbolic of a cooperative relationship. Your people come together to share resources, to help each other grow in wealth and abundance and physical resources, and to form a team and really help each other out. And in chapter 4, the Four of Pentacles, after all your hard work, so you are able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You can just sit there and then you have something to show for the world. You have established a routine, a system, everything works, everything's super organized. So you've accumulated enough like to have something to show to the world, to kind of keep yourself busy in a way. And you're sticking to your routines, you're managing everything, and then you've sort of got to this place where you found your group, and then you can keep going. You can just, this is a stable routine that brings you income or resources, or this mode of doing things is kind of, it's stabilizing. It's like you found sort of this method that propels you forward in a consistent manner. So yeah, you have amassed a sizable empire of your own. You have enough to sort of secure a lifestyle. You have enough to define you as a person. You've got to a point where you're more or less, you're kind of established now, right? You have, like I said before, you have something to show to the world. You have something to say, oh, this is all my hard work. This is what I did. And then you're just kind of just sitting there. You can kind of count your coins a little bit. You can just kind of recognize that this is how far you come, and then you're going to keep going. Alright, so when it comes to chapter 5, I feel like, since 5 is always the chapter of instability, or the challenge chapter or the conflict, so I feel like the chapter 5 in the Earth Clan history is kind of interesting. So 5 of Pentacles. So this is when sort of the sense of isolation comes into play. So I feel it could go both ways. So on one hand, I think 5 of Pentacles showing that there's obviously this contrast of someone of wealth, or this place of wealth, or someone who has more. and versus this earth party who is less, who is sort of kept outside because they haven't climbed the social ladder, or they don't have enough resources, or they're just not there yet. So I feel like it could go two ways. But like overall, it can be sadly isolating, because I think it's either that you feel like you don't have enough, or you feel like, do you deserve this much wealth, or do you deserve, are you pushing people away? Are you isolating yourself from those people who need help or who could benefit from your services? So the first thing I want to say is, like, I think when you're expanding, when you're building, when you're really just honing your craft, when you're expanding and becoming more, I think it's natural for you to become more connected or become initiated into a bigger circle, because you recognize now that your own worth, you recognize your own worth, and therefore you demand more. You want to be validated in a way that you deserve. So it's natural that you want bigger things. You want things that are worth your time and energy and effort. So as a result, you could be sort of discriminating against maybe people who could benefit from your service, but they can't maybe afford that service, right? So I think it's not out of malice. It's not really out of discrimination. It's not out of like, disdain or whatever. It's not anything, not negative like that. I just feel like you have reached a point where you can have to decide what's worth your time and what's not worth your time. And sometimes that could be isolating and even a little bit self-conscious and heartbreaking, because are you pushing people away? Because I think, you still have that goal in mind, like mutual benefit, right? But sometimes you just have to make a choice. Sometimes you really have to make a choice about what's worthy of spending your time on and what's worthy of, your effort and stuff. Yeah, so sometimes that decision can be tough. It can feel very isolating. So that's kind of like the first side to this card. And I feel like the other side is that when you are reaching for bigger things, you obviously come in contact with those bigger things, and those bigger things might make you feel small. You might feel like not wealthy enough, you don't have enough, like how come people have it, much easier than me, or how come they have more wealth than me? So you start to feel small. So you start to feel like you're being kept out of that mount wealth of that higher society or upper world or something. So you feel like isolated in a different way. But yeah, either way, there's this feeling of insecurity and isolation. And I think to continue, 5 is always a challenge chapter or conflict chapter. If you could sort of rise up to this challenge, if you could really settle those feelings, you can keep going forward and really build something that's really go for the basically advance to the next chapter, and which I'll talk about like right now. Really sucky transition, but oh well. Yeah, so when it comes to 6 of Pentacles, after you finish the challenge in 5 of Pentacles, in 6 of Pentacles you realize that you are richer, or I'm just going to say in the first person, I am richer if we are richer together. So this is when you recognize that the mutual benefit, the collective benefit of contributing to your society, contributing to those around you, of like the mutual wealth of those around you is a reflection of your own wealth as well. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like after all your hard work, you're now in a position where you're more confident. You realize that you're richer when you extend a hand to those in your community, and you realize that when you help your community, when you sort of contribute, when you help create that flow in some way by being the best of yourself, you really sort of become part of this group of people. You really feel like you really join that you really sort of welcome that abundance consciousness. It's like when you think you have more, when you feel truly that you have more, then you will have more. You will attract those things to you. And you realize that wealth isn't just about stockpiling, it's about flow. It's about, there are other resources that you're able to cultivate. And there are sort of currencies that don't seem like currency in the beginning, but it's adding to your overall sense of wealth, because wealth comes in, so many different forms and shapes. So it's not just like the money, it's not just about the moolah. So yeah, for example, like a kind of currency could be a favor, or helping someone to contribute to the community, helping somebody to start their business, because by creating this network of wealth, you're becoming wealthier too. So this is when your interests are expanding, you feel richer, both giving and receiving, because you feel like when you're giving, it's because you're capable, and when you're receiving, it's not because you have less. It's about realizing that you are part of this bigger community. You're part of this group of people who care about the mutual benefit, who care about the mutual growth, like, of each other. So I feel like this is a really, really nice card. Okay, so when it comes to chapter 7, since your wealth consciousness has changed, it's sort of expanded. Now a doorway of possibilities has opened up for you. So in Ten of Pentacles, you start to reconsider the wealth you already have, the type of resources that you have, what's missing, what needs work. So you start to go over, like, you start to evaluate and reconsider all the decisions that you made in the past, all the hard work that you've done, what needs to be done more, or you're sort of thinking about how you can integrate your new ideas and your new perspectives into your current practice. So you're sort of just taking a pause, you're taking a step back, and you're just looking at everything to make sure that you want to make sure that the next sort of wave, the next momentum of hard work, you want to start up with the right foot. So you're experimenting with some new ideas, you're sort of waiting for the results, seeing what works and what doesn't, and then you're going to incorporate them into your bigger plan to expand and grow. And of course, when you get to chapter 8, Eight of Pentacles, now that you've collected all the data, now that you've sort of done all the experimenting, it's time to work. So now you have really clear objectives. You have a clear plan of what you want to accomplish. So you're going to start to tackle them one by one. You're going to accomplish these goals by hard work, dedication, and resilience. So you're going to persist. You're going to keep going. You're going to accomplish all the things that you say you're going to accomplish by doing them one by one by one, because practice makes perfect. And lacking another good quote to really hone in the message of consistency and resilience. But yeah, you're really just actively working on your list of new objectives. And yeah, this is where you get busy and where you get to work. All right, so again, after all your hard work in chapter 9, or the 9 of Pentacles, voila, now you are a seasoned entrepreneur sitting on top of your business. Now your business is able to sustain itself. It can work itself out in a weird way. It's kind of like you don't have to do as much work to manage it, because now it's sort of like, it's a self-sustainable system now. It's something that, you've sort of like, you've done your hard work, you have rolled and tumbled in the world, you have drenched your shirt in sweat out in the field. Now it's time to take a step back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy all your hard work and just your little empire unfold before you, seeing it work for you, seeing it bringing in you wealth and abundance and more resources. So this is like a really good place to be. You can now enjoy life because you got to a point where you feel like you built enough and explored enough. I mean, you're not going to stop because you enjoy what you do. You enjoy working, because creating those things or creating those resources and exchanging those resources with somebody, that's an authentic expression of who you are, right? This is the work that you enjoy. But this is like, it just means that you get to a point where what you have is an expression of who you are. Like, literally, this empire you built is a reflection of your hard work, all the decisions that you've made, and who you are as a person right now. So it's like your identity sort of physically, it's like a physical manifestation of your identity and your creative expression, your creative work. So yeah, you've sort of found your place in the world, and you're kind of satisfied with that place. Which leads you to the next chapter, the 10 of Pentacles, which is chapter 10, the final chapter, the grand conclusion of the People of Earth clan. So since you figure out where you are, as time goes on, you're able to sort of leave those things behind. Those creations become your legacy, even after you're gone. It's feel like you've carved your place in the world. You've found your place in the world. This is something that, your thing has become something so big and something so self-sustainable now. It's accessible. It's like, how do I put this? It's kind of like, it's a space with your coordinates on it. It's like, even if you're gone, even if you're literally physically gone, you're on the other side now, or if you're just away, this is something that will last. This is something that could just sort of perpetuate itself in whatever form. You could sort of initiate people and then just show people that this is how I've done it. You could do the same thing too. You can also grow and expand and just realize your dreams. And it's like walking into a memorial and then of yourself, or seeing a statue of yourself in the middle of a community. It's kind of like you made your mark. You have contributed to the community, you have left your name on the wall, and people know you for who you are, you know, being known as the generous one, or being known as such and such creative work. You have like physically found your coordinate, you found your place, you created your place, and people know you for that. And people would sort of look back or look at what you have accomplished and use that to inspire them, or maybe follow in your footsteps, or kind of just or establish some kind of relationship exchange with whatever you've created to, you know, to create something even more. So it's like you have left your mark on the earth. This is what I'm trying to say. You've left your mark on the earth, in your community, in the hearts of people, you've created something that's worthy of being passed on. So yeah, that's the 10 of Pentacles. You know, like, getting back to the Earth clan, I hope they will forgive me and not kill me in my slip. But yeah, so that's the Suit of Pentacles, and after this video I'll be resuming to do the court cards. I actually filmed the night class already, but I'm not really happy with that video because I was supremely hungry when I did that video, and I just feel like just did not have a lot of energy. But I was like, oh, I'll just finish the video and then just go eat, but that was a bad idea, so I'm never ever gonna film on an empty stomach ever again. Now that I'm filming this video, I'm full of energy. It's because I just ate lunch. So there we go. If you're like making YouTube videos out there, if you're wondering how to best deliver a video, make sure you're not hungry. So as usual, I will this video will come with a worksheet for the Suit of Pentacles. So if you want to work with this suit or this element more, feel free to click the link below in the description box. And I'll probably create a tarot workbook, like a short workbook, consisting of all the worksheets, but then just more organized and more streamlined, and extra additional journal prompts. Not sure yet, but that's probably on the plate to be grabbed sometime in the future. I'm working on my tarot book right now, so that's gonna come first. And yeah, until next time, be the hero of your own story and go and kick butt in life.